We'll also revisit the heartbreaking killing of 13-year-old Timothy Nikodabasi, allegedly involving a soldier, a case that has reignited urgent concerns around accountability, justice and safety. I'll be doing this with my co-host, Jennifer Pius. Jenny?
Yeah,
good afternoon to you.
I don't know how to feel about today, especially with the stories all over.
Man, it's almost as if it's happening all at once.
Sincerely.
And you begin to wonder, which one do you pick? It's sad.
Everything's just happening at the same time.
And I don't think they're all on a positive note.
None. Looking at the situation of things, the lives on the roll and activities, it's worse that it's happening just around us.
And just when we thought that River State was in peace, and we're having this report that the River State House of Assembly has begun impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalaya Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Ojo. During in a live broadcast presided over by the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martins Amewule, the Majority Leader, River State House of Assembly Major Jack, read out the notice of allegations and gross misconduct against Fubara. 26 members of the River State House of Assembly signed the notice, which they alleged was against the Nigerian Constitution. Amewule said the notice will be served to Fubara in the next 7 days. And the Deputy Majority Leader of the House, Linda Stewart, also read out the notice of allegations and gross misconduct against Ojo. Here's what we got it.
Governor has committed offenses against the Constitution. Let the course, let the law take its. The law has to take its course. Mr. President, with the President, he's a father. Mr. President has done his best. Mr. President has spoken to the governor. In my presence, Mr. President told the governor, I'm giving you a second chance. The governor refused. He gave him another one. The governor refused. How many times will Mr. President call us? I thank those Ngozi Ojo DSSRS to present the medium-term expenditure framework MTEF and 2026 appropriation bill in line with the River State Fiscal Responsibility Law 2010 and the Constitution, respectively, as well as the reckless spending from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of River State. 2, this House is declaring that the House will not proceed with any action for presentation of the medium-term expenditure framework MTEF and appropriation bill 2026 until the investigation of gross misconduct leveled against the governor and deputy governor are concluded. Distinguished colleagues, these are the prayers. Thank you so much. Clerk, do we have any other thing on the other paper?
Mr. Speaker, the order of the exhausted.
Leader.
Speaker, very revered colleagues, Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that this House stands adjourned to 15th day of January 2025 at 10 a.m. I so move.
You so move. Leader.
Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I support the motion as moved by the leader. I so support.
Distinguished colleagues, the House stands adjourned to Thursday, the 15th day of January 2026 at 10 a.m. Will now rise.
Well, this is a lot to take in River State, just when we thought all issues had subsided, and now we're looking at an impeachment proceeding against the governor and the deputy in the state.
Jennifer, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the executive would respond to this one, because when we look at all of the issues playing out, that you can't help but see the finger the deputy minister in all of this.
In all of it. Just few days after he made a statement of Governor Fubara bridging an agreement, then we just woke up to this one.
And then you compare that, you crisscross that with all of the tours that he had backing upon in River State, culminating in that very explosive interview around the end of the year. You begin to wonder, in all of this, I don't really see the governor making a lot of comments, but I'm very sure that there will be a response to this.
Well, the governor has
interesting
also been
times in River State ahead.
Though. He's been making his comment, and well, Rivers has had a very dramatic time. In fact, even after we had thought issues had been resolved, there's been so much in Rivers. As when we hear from the minister, and then we get a response from the governor. I'm just hoping.
I mean, that's what we're waiting for now.
That's
a response, a rebuttal.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. But there's also a developing and highly sensitive from in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State, where reports on social media alleged that a young man identified as Israel may have lost his life under tragic circumstances linked to a relationship issue. At this time, authorities have not confirmed these claims, and we're urging viewers to treat the information with caution. Well, we'll connect with our correspondent at Bayelsa State for clarification and update on what is really known so far. But what we know is that reports from Elebele community in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State alleging that a young man identified as Israel may have died following emotional distress, reportedly connected to a relationship. However, no official statement has been issued by the police or family members to validate the circumstances surrounding his death. Resident area said the story is still surrounded by speculation, with different versions circulating both online and within the community. Community leaders have urged the public to avoid spreading unclarified claims, stressing that misinformation could worsen the pain of the affected family and misrepresent the true situation. Well, as of now, investigations authorities are yet to release any formal confirmation of the cause or nature of the incident. But we'll continue to follow the story closely and provide updates as soon as verified information becomes available from our correspondent and official sources in Bayelsa State. But we'll be joined by our correspondent in Bayelsa, Achidonu Temple, who has been monitoring development in Elebele community. Good morning, Achidonu Temple. It's afternoon. Good afternoon to you. And
good morning.
What's the situation like in Bayelsa, especially with regards to this information? What is the confirmed issue or incident in particular case?
Okay, is it about the suicide incident in Elebele?
Exactly,
yes.
Temple.
Okay, all right. Actually, the incident occurred the previous Sunday evening. The young man, so now the identity of the young man really known by residents of Elebele. But the information from the leadership of the community who do not want to speak on camera, they said the young man is suspected that from Akwa Ibom State, and that in the community. Elebele Mayor community motorcycle, that is his profession in Elebele. He rides Okada, what we call Okada. On that fateful day, that is Sunday evening, that he had a quarrel with the girlfriend, and that's why some people are suspect maybe the reason why he took his own life because of the quarrel. But some people say that is not true, that it may be out of frustration that the young man has been complaining that things are not going to him and all of that. That's why he now went to a bush in Elebele close to Bayelsa Palm. That place is always very quiet. People don't go that side often. So he went to that place so that nobody would notice that he wants to take his own life. So and committed suicide. Then on Monday, farmers saw him and then alerted the community leadership, who then went there to bring his corpse. And then they are now looking for people who know him so that they can now call his people to come and take his corpse. So that is the situation. Nobody really knows the reason why he took his own life. But according to the community sources, his phone was in his pocket when he committed the suicide, and he removed the SIM from the phone. And then when they went through the phone, the last two calls he made before he committed his suicide was his father and his pastor. These were the last two calls he made before he committed his suicide. And of course, you know, some communities, committing suicide is a taboo and all of that. So that's why most of the community leaders do not want to speak to the press because of...
Yeah, Temple, you said you mentioned that you tried to engage the community members, but they refused to speak. And you also confirmed that they are trying to reach the family of the deceased. Yeah. How do they intend to do that without speaking with media? And when you access all of the happenings right there and how it's playing out, you think there's monkey business going on in the background?
I can't really say that. But what I felt is because of what I was going to tell you people, that in some communities, committing suicide is a taboo. And before they will let you go like that, some rituals, some traditional rituals have to be carried out for cleansing. Maybe that is the same thing that's cleansing a little. It's a taboo in their land, and of course, before they will say anything or do anything like that, they will have to, you know, do one or two things. So, but anyhow, his neighbors, where he lives, please know him. So that's why the community leadership is trying to use his neighbors, where he lives, to find out where did he say he come from. Of course, his name, according to them, is Daniel. He gave his name as Daniel, and then Daniel what? Now nobody knew who Daniel was. So that is the situation, and that is why it's good where you live. Let people know who you are, so that when incidents like this happen, they will know how to follow to get to the people. As for now, the young man, where he comes from, his father and whatever, has not really been ascertained. So the CDC, although the CDC was just inaugurated that same Sunday that he committed his suicide, just a new CDC. So they're not fully on ground. So but the situation now is that they are still working to get to his people so that they will come up to pick his cause.
All right, Temple, we'll be relying on you for updates as this particular incident unfolds. Really a sad one there. We're hoping that the information needed to reach the family of the deceased would be arrived at. Thank you for speaking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, still another sad incident, this time in Akwa Ibom State. A 20-year-old woman, Blessing Bright Thompson, has been found dead in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. This happened barely 24 hours after she reportedly went out to visit a male friend on December 31. A blessed daughter of Madam Peace Bright Thompson fled missing when she failed to return home. Her phone became unreachable. A lifeless body was discovered on January 1 in the Nasarawa area of the Tamuyo, with injuries believed to be from gunshots to the chest. And family members were alerted after calls made to her phone were answered by an unidentified person who directed them to report at the Itam police station. It's been visited at a morgue. The young man she reportedly went to visit has denied involvement in her death, claiming that Blessing later left his place to meet another person she referred to as her sister for a New Year crossover service. Police authorities have taken over the investigation, and the case has reportedly led to the state police headquarters in Ikoropanabia. The grieving family says it lacks the financial capacity to vigorously pursue the case and is appealing for public support and a thorough investigation. Meanwhile, residents have expressed concern over rising insecurity, urging people to always inform trusted persons of their movements. The police say investigations are ongoing and have assured the public that all leads will be properly examined. Another sad one, Jennifer Pius, and it also cuts to the issue of letting your whereabouts known.
Well, beyond just letting your whereabouts known, that may not really prevent any situation, because regardless of where you are, if a person is not close by, there would be little or nothing done to save you. Majorly, what should be our concern is ensuring that people wherever they are safe. And that takes us to, we see police vehicles on strategic locations in the State. And I'm asking that this time around we need to move to darker areas. There should be place to monitor those areas, look out, and especially at night, because these things are becoming rampant and we don't know how far this will continue. If this wasn't brought to light, perhaps we'd never have known about it.
On the issue of how close we are to ensuring that we're able to introduce technology in how in our security architecture, because I mean, when you talk about some of these areas, indeed you cannot expect them to be where. But if we had the security apparatus available in areas that are really dark, as you had described it earlier, it would help. Of course, we know that there's the issue of vandalism, but there's also an intelligence whereby you're able to place these gadgets in such a way that it is unnoticed. There's actually a way to do it, and the people who might be, interested in vandalism are unable to actually know that there's indeed a camera operating in that area. So it is a sad one, and when we get stories of this nature, it really begins to make you wonder if we're making any progress at all when we talk about the issue of insecurity and how it affects people. You begin to wonder now, the family, about incidences, sad incidences that are already creeping into families, and barely few days into the new year.
These families, once they have not, maybe justice has been done on that case, if there's none, you begin to see them begin to act out those problems and begin to display some level of discrepancies in the society because get this. And so sometimes might feel, oh, you can go about and do whatever you want and nothing will be done.
Sometimes they become antagonistic and want to take their own pound of flesh or victimize others just because they were not able to get
I just hope these issues don't repeat itself. And there's another sad incident. I don't know, we've had a lot of them these days, and on Monday in Isinobolo, Akwa Ibom State, two boats conveying workers of Sterling Global reportedly collided along a water route, resulting in the death of 2 workers and injuries of several others. The accident was attributed to reckless navigation by the two boat operators, according to eyewitness account. The injured victims were rushed to a hospital for medical. Following the incident, the chairman of Isinobolo local government area, Samuel Otoguja, visited the injured workers at the hospital to assess their condition and offer words of support. Authorities have called for stricter enforcement of safety regulations on waterways to prevent further loss of lives in the area.
Well, this is part of the issue that we'll be tackling in our focus conversation today, which of course we see global company seemingly appearing in a lot of the stories that we've dealt with week, and you begin to wonder, why is this happening and what is it that the company is not doing right? We'll get into that chase, but first let's bring you Niger Delta up. First, a Niger Delta update. Ahead of the 2027 presidential election, members of the Labour Party aligned obedient movement in Edo State have collapsed their structures and declared support for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu. Speaking at a meeting in Benin City, the group, now operating as the Akpakomiza movement for Tinubu, also known as Team Figo Connect, said the decision followed growing confidence in President Tinubu's economic reform agenda. Addressing the gathering, Edo State Governor Senator Mondo Pebo reiterated that the mandate given to him was for development, not rhetoric, while appreciating President Tinubu for consistent support towards ongoing projects in the state.
Members of the obedient movement, Labour Party stakeholders, supported Peter Obi in the 2023 election. This same individual also supported your governorship campaign during the 2024 Edo State election. Their deliberate and intentional political shift to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term was made well before tonight. Also, your promise to make Edo State a construction site, a promise we are seeing implemented across all 3 senatorial districts.
When we were working, you were all present. Now that we have won, I'm still seeing all of you. I want to say a very big welcome to you. And I also want to say a very big thank you. Why I was not too bothered is because you voted for me for a reason. And that reason is you wanted development for Edo State. So nothing that will stop me from developing Edo for you.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has disclosed that there was no written or formal agreement between him and President Bola Tinubu ahead of the 2023 general elections. He made the revelation a thank-you visit to Degema and Agbonima local government area of Rivers State. Addressing party leaders, traditional rulers and residents, the former Rivers State governor said his support for President Bola Tinubu was based on trust and personal conviction, not any formal pact or negotiated conditions.
Where you can see the kind of rainbow coalition, the 2 parties are working together to make sure we return the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Those who are not appreciative will find one thing or the other to credit you. But I tell you to remain firm, we are on the right track. As per Rivers State, let me make it clear. What's important in life is that you made a mistake and you come out and tell people, I made a mistake. And therefore, I want to correct the mistakes we made.
Well, members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Bayelsa State have again endorsed President Bola Tinubu for a 2nd term. The endorsement was done at a special stakeholders meeting under the leadership of Governor Doye Diri in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State capital. This was the first APC stakeholders meeting convened by Governor Doye Diri since his progressive movement. At the meeting, Senator representing Bayelsa Central Senatorial District Kumbowe Benson moved the endorsement motion, which was seconded by the former Deputy Pere Moboe Ebebi.
Here we say we are progressives, not so. Let us truly be progressives. When you are a progressive, you don't abhor bitterness. Bayelsa, that is what we all need today. We need to forgive one another. Whatever offices that we want to contest for, please put it down for now. Now, the only one that no other person will contest from Bayelsa State, for now, as I know, except tomorrow it changes, as I know, is that of the president. And as we are gathered here together, we are all gathered here together to make sure that President Ahmed Bola Tinubu returns for a 2nd term. All those in support that the motion ably moved and as amended and seconded by the seconder, all those in support of the motion say hi by standing up, by standing up, by standing up. Come 2027, a victorious 2nd term in office.
A primary school meant to nurture young dreams is fighting a losing battle against vandals and neglect. Government Primary School of Calford has become a ghost of itself, stripped bare night after night. Our reporter Simply What went inside to hear from teachers and pupils bearing the brunt. Here's the report.
Imagine sending your child to school only to worry that they'll come home to strangers sleeping in their classrooms. That's the nightmare here at Government Primary School, Akalfort. For many years now, this once thriving public primary school has suffered relentless vandalism. Metal doors, window protections meant to keep classrooms safe have been forcefully pulled out, carted away, and allegedly sold. Also, the school left wide open, its classrooms, staff offices, and record rooms exposed. Walking this, the damage is impossible to ignore. According to the school authorities, the impact of this vandalism is far beyond infrastructure. The school lost all records of pupils who graduated in previous years. Vandals reportedly gained access to the record room, tearing out and making away with ledgers, registers, and vital documents that held the academic history.
School is renovated again. Security is given to this school. It will help. Look at uncompleted stadium for a long time. It affects the security of the school. Look at Akpanande Market. Nobody controls those that goes in there and comes out. So I think this one too, an invasion of the school property also, if the government could stop it, this will go a long way to help. This was #1 school in Uyo before, a pilot school. I was here before. I was transferred and come back to see the ruins.
But the situation does not end here. A look at the school reveals how easy access has become for these vandals. Several entry points dot the perimeter of the school, providing unrestricted in and out. As if the insecurity is not enough, staff and people also battle another serious challenge. There is a refuse dump located right at the entrance of the school. The stench from the dump is overwhelming, especially during the rainy season, creating an unhealthy learning environment for young children who should be focused on education. Over the years, the school management has raised alarm after alarm.
We met the Teirong, we met the school-based chairman, but this has been what is happening over time. Every step to secure this place, we have reports, but to no avail. As I am standing here talking to you, we don't have roof over our head. We are sitting outside, the teacher is sitting outside here in sun, in rain. The children are packed in a block where the roof is removed. All other blocks have been moved, so we don't have space again. Not even the roofing, the school property like books, registry have been cut away.
The pupils and staff of this school are calling for an urgent government intervention on this matter before another generation is robbed of a safe place to learn. Simple, Iwat.
And that's it on Niger Delta Update. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll pine our focus on the issues regarding Sterling Global and other matters. Stay with us.
Function of the parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Resources to critical sectors, education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from motions and constituency. The program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, will bring you active of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the High Court of the Federal Capital Abuja.
the high service.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m.
The global businesses never stop. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening, business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil, and commodity trading, financial ops, the downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADBN TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. Report bringing you up to speed in the business world.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an evocative program that touches the core of our existence.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Connect across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Apple TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linuxville TV app. To get the latest news stream, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our www.bntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Thanks for staying tuned. We'll delve straight into the meat of the conversation today. Stolt Petrochemicals and Fertilizers Limited's name seems to keep appearing across incidents in the Akwa Ibom state, from the tragic boat collision in Eastern Obolo that claimed 2 lives and left several injured, to the ongoing land dispute involving Akaniana Amaka, who accuses the company of ignoring a high court order and proceeding to enter their land to excavate without meeting terms of court agreements. We'll be having parties involved on this issue speak to us on the areas that they are demanding resolutions to. And then there is the tragic story of 13-year-old Timothy in Ikorabasi, also intersecting here, as he was reportedly killed by a soldier linked to Sterling Global Operations, a case that has sparked national outrage and intense calls for justice. Now, as we explore these developments, we'll focus on the human and community impact, the legal proceedings in motion, and the broader questions of safety, oversight, and corporate presence in the Niger Delta. Sterling Global appears in each story, not as a target, but as a key player in events shaping lives across the region. We have joining us on this special session Barrister Francis Aquera, a rights activist representing Akaniana Amaka. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We also have Akaniana Amaka joining us on the program this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll first begin with you, Mr. Akaniana. Give us basis, a background understanding of what transpired between I think you brought in a family land here, and Sterling Global. Let's just have a background to that.
Okay. Early 2024, that was on 28th. Sterling Petrochemical trespassed on our land, and my brother called me to come over there. When I got there, I saw the workers that were excavating the land, that were working on the land. I tried to document what happened. I used my phone to take some pictures, and I also did some videos about the activities that was going on there. After then, they ordered a soldier command that I was attacked seriously. I was maltreated. So thereafter, that was when we took them to court. That was in January 2025. So after a month of two, they called for out-of-court settlement, which we accepted through the instructions of our lawyer. So we went for negotiation at the camp at Bojiti, Korobasi. It was me, my lawyer, my elder brother, and a panther, that's the person representing Sterling on land issues, and the former national base manager, Mr. Nasi. So we had a negotiation, and they were going to give us a permanent employment. And the price that we agreed was based on the permanent employment. When we left there, we entered into terms of settlement, which they freely signed. We went to court and presented. They were the one that even filed the terms of settlement. And court entered a consent judgment. That is what we have today. And since that time, they have been coming for different negotiations outside what the court ordered. The court says permanent employment, and they are bringing in contract job, which we decline. That job, that land, they want to take it forever. They want to buy it and use the land. So we cannot take a contract job. We need something that would last, because that's the only thing we get from our father. That's what was fast.
Okay, and I think I'll give a chance to the legal practitioner. Let's also have, from the legal perspective, after there was this breach of, I think he called it the contempt of court, what else, what other attempts were made to reach out to Sterling Global?
Well, we had filed Form 48, that's notice of intention to proceed contempt of court. But we've had, even after that, we had several meetings based on the consent judgment that we had. They kept promising that they will pay, they will submit to the terms of the judgment order, but they have not. The gist of the matter is that my clients insisted that Sterling Petrochemicals must employ them, but they don't want to employ them. They want to transfer that responsibility to a third party, which my clients don't have any relationship with them.
Who's the third party?
One company called Benjamin Tom is the contracting company. That's the company that Sterling uses to employ for them, to work for them. But my clients don't have any relationship with Benjamin Tom Bush. It's Sterling that entered the land, entered into consent, terms of agreement, settlement, and it is that my clients look up to for employment.
What are these terms of agreements, if we could them clearly spelled out?
Okay. One, that Sterling Petrochemicals must employ my clients directly.
Is it clearly stated,
Sure.
the kind of employment?
I have the papers here.
Okay.
I have the papers here. In fact, if you don't mind, this is the terms of settlement. Now, this is what they agreed on. The defendant shall pay the claimant a sum of 46,500,000 naira, 50 naira, 46,050,000 naira in satisfaction of the monetary claims in the suit. The said amount covered claims for compensation in respect of the land and so on. Okay. And then the defendant, that's Sterling Global or Petrochemicals, shall give permanent employment to the persons listed hereunder. 5 of them, the 5 members are listed. And so, and then others, but till date, they have refused to give them the employment.
And so far, what has been done? And have there been any established relationship or some sort of meetings that have been held between your client here?
We have held several meetings. We have held several. In fact, they have also proposed to amend the consent judgment. I said, no, we cannot amend the consent judgment order of the court. If you want it, then go back to court and seek an order to amend or change what the court had done. We cannot do that outside the court's consent. It's binding on both parties.
All right. Well, we'll revisit this, especially with the aim of finding out what next steps are on you and for your client. But then let's connect with correspondent Simply Watt, who is currently at Ikorabasi with information regarding the sad incident that occurred there involving the shooting of a 13-year-old boy, Timothy, who lost his life on the very first day of January 2020 into the new year. That incident was reported here on our platform, and with a lot of emotional outplay right there, the families complaining about how sad and how painful this incident has been to them. And of course, calling for justice. That is what they want to be for them. Feel so recompense. I mean, I don't think it is even possible to come out of that kind of grief, but at least the issue must be addressed as effectively as possible. We'll be connecting with our correspondent Simply Watt in the course of the conversation as we try to establish that conversation. We'll come back. Okay, Simply Watt, good afternoon to you.
Simple, can you hear us? Afternoon.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, so tell us, you are currently at Ikorabasi, and what has been done so far when it comes to addressing or bringing justice to the killing of the 13-year-old boy?
All right,
thank you for the question. The sister to the late young man, and she, of course, brought me up to speed on what has been done so far. On Sunday, half of some members of the Nigerian army meet the family, and they, of course, express their messages and as regards to the events that took place, and also what could be done, to make the whole grieving family be more bearable. So, of course, the families said a few things that they could do. I'll break the sister to give all the detail on that, but there was a meeting on Sunday, and then after the meeting on Sunday, there was another meeting again during the week where members of Sterling Global also came and met with the and condoled the family after the events that took, and also and I think they spoke to the father this time around, so he also agreed with them the earlier said to the army people when they came on Sunday. They just expressed how painful the entire incident was, and how army, in collaboration with Sterling Global, can come together and see to that it has the fortitude to bear this, irreparable loss that the current.
All right, Simple. Well, if you are with one of the respondents there, you could get us to speak with them, because it's an issue that is unresolved. There's a narrative ongoing currently. The late 13-year-old Timothy confronted the military man, and the family is saying that this is not true. We want to clear that clearly, to get that put straight.
Okay. To answer that question, I'll bring the system. So you heard to come. Was there any altercation between your brother and the army people as regards what happened?
Okay, we didn't hear that. Can you put that again? We didn't hear her response.
There was nothing like that, sir. My brother didn't challenge the army man.
Okay, what exactly, so that we can clear this once and for all? How did it play out, and how would you explain what truly transpired that day, especially highlighting the fact that there was no altercation between Timothy and the military man that is accused of shooting him?
Go on the street today, shooting knockouts. It's too much, they should stop. So in that process, I think that
well, unfortunately, we are unable to really hear Niabiat clearly and have feedbacks. We're having the call back. Well, simply what, if you can hear me clearly, could you help reiterate what Niabiat there said? Because we did it clearly.
Okay, she said.
Okay, she said at the time of the shooting, there was no altercation between her brother and the military men. They were shooting knockouts, of course, they were celebrating the new year, but there was no physical altercation, no physical pact between her brother and the military men. So, according to her, the rumors are false, and there was no contact at all between her brother and the military men.
All right, well, has there been any scheduled date for meetings towards ensuring that this is fully resolved? And talking about laying Timothy to rest, what is the update on that?
Okay, on Sunday they had a meeting. They were like, what they can. That they are going to their employer, which is them. Is simple.
Oh, simple. Simple.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sadly, they have to take it over from here. We're hoping that you'll be able to gather as much information as possible so that we can truly put there and put the record straight. Thank you for speaking to us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
So right here in the studio, we still have with us Barrister Francis Aquera, represent Mr. Kaniyane. I hope I'm correct. We're still speaking on the issue of Sterling Petrochemicals and Fertilizers Limited and the activities in Ikorabasi and, of course, Isnobolo.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to understand, is there any part of that agreement that has been carried out, even at maybe a minimum of 50% carried out to the family? No part of that agreement.
No. Let's be forward-looking now. What next steps are on the table to be taken by you, and what are your demands in clear terms?
One is that Sterling Petrochemicals should employ clients as agreed upon. Two, the amount they agreed to pay as compensation,
which is
46,000,000 naira, should be paid. And that is all. And if they don't, then we'll perhaps think about to court with a fresh course of action, fresh suit for trespass, because the act is continuing. It's a continuing.
What's the status of the land now? Have they gone ahead to use the land for their personal purposes?
They have excavated and laid pipes. Yes, they have done that, and they have not. They have not implemented any of the agreements that they had with my clients.
Well, as your parting shot now, what has been the experience since this particular incident unfolded between and the company? How has it been for you and your family? I know that I saw a video online where you had clearly stated that that land happened to be your only source of livelihood.
Yes. It has not been easy for my siblings. So, for myself, I have some skills that I'm working on. That has been given me to survive. But for my siblings, that's the only source of income that they have. It is a big land, and we chatted among us. and that's what we've been using to survive.
Well, Barris, I'd like you to crown this all up with appraisal of the activities of Sterling Petrochemicals. You've been getting fillers. This is not an isolated case. It is something that has been ongoing, according to information that we have gathered. And you've also heard of the incident in Ikorabasi where Timothy lost his life in Sanchez. Also in Istanbul, we talk about that boat mishap incident that also claimed life, sinking and bringing up the name Sterling Global. How would you summarize this, and how have you appraised the whole?
Sterling Petrochemicals has a pattern. Sterling will enter into people's lands without the consent of the owners, clearly the lands. And I can tell you, I have about more than 5 different against Sterling. And we object to this. And I think that perhaps they think because it's a multinational company that can do anything and get away with it. So Sterling has the neutrality, but they also use the army and the police, the people there. We are not in war. We are not in wartime. So what would the army be doing at peacetime in a local country, if not to back up the exploitative tendencies of the company? And the sad thing about the whole is that the people themselves are not helping themselves.
How are they not helping themselves?
If they were able to come together, because the company uses divide and rule tactics against the people.
So there are some people that are in support of the activities.
Sure. One, they are complacent, they don't speak up, they don't act. Yes, I keep saying it. If the things that Sterling is doing happened in places like Delta State, Bayelsa, it would have been a different ball game altogether. It would have been different.
Well, with this particular issue, I mean, it re-echoes what we have been discussing, which is, of course, accountability at this, and this cuts right to the discussion we're having with Barrister Francis Ekwere, rights activist and representative for Kaniyane Amaka. We thank you very much for coming on the program and hope that as these cases followed up, the parties involved would also respond to your demands and yield to them. Thank you very much for speaking.
Also, we'll be tracking the updates with regards to this incident as it unfolds.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And with that, this is Niger Delta today. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Xavier Roberts, wishing you a terrific afternoon.
And I am Jennifer Pius. Thanks for being a part of the show. Do have a day.